Hello, hello. Uh, Tonight or today, I'm going to talk about a book which could be considered a prepper book. But it is not a prepper book because generally prepper books are written about preparations, or some of them are fictional stories or even novels. I am remembering the one from Main Prepper, which is very good, when the walls came tumbling down. But today I'm going to talk about a book that is a scientific book and that proves that preppers are right. The authors of the book aren't preppers, but the book in itself confirms that we are heading to difficult situation. I'm not preaching disaster or Armageddon or doomsday or nothing like that, but we have to be aware of the surroundings, of our surroundings. The book the book which I'm showing now came out in February of 2012, and it's the pictures that it's covered as are, one of them has got a picture of a destruction caused by an earthquake, another a picture has got a pair of high heels shoes, female shoes. Another one has got the Statue of Liberty being flooded, which is some kind of a doomsday picture. The other one is a picture of the London riots, and the other one is a picture of the Egyptian uprising, or the uprising in Egypt. The title of the book in English is Urban Chaos. Caos urbano in Portuguese is similar to the words caos, chaos. The words are similar, and urbano in Portuguese means urban in English. It's funny because English and Portuguese are very different. Portuguese comes from is a Latin language from the Romans. Evolution, and English is a German type language, Saxon German type language, but the words are similar. In this case, many of the words are different, but in this case, Portuguese, which is considered a very difficult language to learn, to be learned. Oh, you understood. Is very different from English. But going to the book, this is not a fictional book, this is not a prepper book. The authors are not preppers, but the conclusions are amazing. The book is sponsored by the Institute of High Military Studies, the Portuguese of High Military Studies Institute, and also has the support of the Academy of Arts and Lyrics and the Administration Public Center. The back of the book, I'm going to read in English the back of the book. When a disruptive event shakens the social order, and the system has not capability to resolve it in an autonomous way, we are facing a crisis scenario. Typically, it generates states of turbulency, instability, and imprevisibility. In highly populated areas, meaning cities, the impact of a crisis it's overwhelming. Its effects are felt in the population under the forms of anxiety, fear, and irrationality. Consequently, the effects of destruction and degradation are propagated to systems, being them political, social, economical, or even security, the ones of security, in a continuous flux that is inherent to the evolution of the crisis itself. Urban chaos installs itself. We are seeing now subversive behaviors, and with them we need quick answer. How should we intervene? Who should be the manager of the crisis, breaking or ending it or minimizing its effects? And could that role adopt simultaneously a preventive version of, and so on? But this book is an academic study, a study made by teachers about what happens in urban chaos, and what preppers generally call WROL, without the rule of law. It's the first one that I ever seen that in a scientific way studies the evolution of chaos. And the coordinator is a big doctor, a big professor that coordinates other authors, and the other authors, in the other authors of the book we have a lieutenant colonel, which is specialist in strategy, decision making, and intelligence, two police commanders, top officers, teachers, one major of artillery, one artillery major, one inspector of our FBI, which is the judiciary police here in Portugal. It's an equivalent to the American FBI, and one woman, one young woman, also author, that is a teacher of strategy and international relations, specializing in terrorism and Islamism. They divide the creation, the advent of WROL, WROL, without the rule of law, in 6 phases. The first phase, they call the first phase time zero. They studied this in several events, which range from the Asian tsunami, the earthquake in Haiti, the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, the London riots, the Egypt uprising, Libya, the Iraq war, the terrorist attacks of Andres Breivik. By the way, my condolences to the American people in what regards the Boston attacks. I'm very sorry for the family of the deceased ones, and the families of the injured ones, and the suffering that an injured people suffers. I know it because I had a soccer incident, and the recovery is very, very, very difficult. The healing process. Moving along, they divide the advent of WROL, without the rule of law, in 6 phases. Time zero, they say it lasts 24 hours, and in that 24 hours there is panic, and in generally the state paralyzes, and then after the first 24 hours we enter a phase in which they call the phase of helping each other. It lasts 2 or 3 days, and in that phase people generally help each other. But after the first week, we start to see, and we have seen in places like the United States, where criminality is the criminal element is has a great strength, and the society is not so united as here in Portugal. We have to, I as Portuguese have to say the truth, sorry, but I have to say the way, like the things like the way they are. We are one of the oldest countries in the world, so we are more united, and we have not so many races within us. We are Portuguese. We are. It's our. It's like a tribe, our community united. The second phase, so is the phase of helping each other. It lasts 2 or 3 days. Then we pass to the random looting phase, which occurs during the first week. And they have studied that the main targets in this phase are drugstores, pharmacies, or chemist shops in British English, and supermarkets. The need for food and medicine, which are necessities of life, leads people to these lootings. Then, in the end of the first week, we get to a fourth phase, or the phase 4, which is the appearance of armed gangs in the streets, and the appearance of popular militia, which tends to defend their neighborhoods against these criminal elements. And it is at this phase in which the state, which they say that in the first moments of a collapse or a terrible event, start sending help in a not coordinated way, in an uncoordinated way. In this, after the first week, if the state, they studied this, remember, they are college professors, they are investigators, they are not preppers, I think. After this first week, if the state in which they say the people nowadays put their trust, they say that one of the problems, and we preppers say that, they say that one of the problems is that we have created a society in which we are hoping the state to come to help us, and that is not sometimes the case, especially when you have large countries. Portugal is not a large country. We have 10 million inhabitants. So after this phase 4, this phase 4, which is the forming of the appearance of armed gangs, if the state doesn't control the situation by now, it's all lost. It's almost like it's WROL. They say that we get to a phase 5, which they call generalized subversion. In this, they say that in general, for what they have studied, people and criminals start to get the state weaponry, start arming themselves with the weaponry of the armies of their country, and finally we get to state failure, which is phase 6, which is complete WROL, in which there is no security, no health, no education, or no possible development, and without security nothing is possible. I'm not suggesting that we should pay so much attention to weapons and warfare and so, but it's their conclusion. But I would like to read, to end this video, some of the quotes that they have. One of them, it's in page 144, and it says that excuse me, 144. So in page 144 it is written that in none of those countries in none of these countries we have politicians that, having been ministers or advisors from the state, when confronted criminally and in parliament with business in banks where they were administrators, they would respond, "I don't recall. We honest citizens of this Portugal near the sea, we remember well what we have been paying regarding the debts that were originated by this kind of people. So we have to run from a major control from which is tempted by these amnesic politicians in the good of the country." So the virus is here and is in other, as well as in other countries. In page 15, they say one thing that is it's written, one thing that is well thought, which is one of the one characteristic that politics despises the most. It's this meaning. It consists in the capacity of being right before its time. So politicians don't like preppers. Prove it. It's the paragraph is here. Then I'm going to finish the analysis of the book with something that is written in page 23, that says the following: boiling, evolution, and saturation applied to politics. In chemistry, we all know what the meaning of the concepts of boiling, saturation mean. In politics, we also know that they exist too, but their evaluation is artistically and done by ear. It is because of that all generations of politicians commit the same mistakes systematically. Portugal, Europe, and the world are approaching saturation and boiling. Is it not worthy to know and to predict future events? So this book is a scientific study which proves what we preppers have already known by common sense. And common sense is lacking in politicians. Another quote says that the way the economy is going, we probably are needing a collapse. But I'm not. Look, in Portugal, we have 10 million inhabitants. We are suffering an enormous crisis. I myself am unemployed now. I worked several years for different schools, but I have other means of survive. But we have already 3 million people that are hungry, that are having difficulties to eat. Sometimes we may have explosive situation. This is, as they say, an insustentable macro system, economical macro system. Macro, not micro, macro, big. Yesterday we had a TV show that was called Shock and Awe in Portuguese, and in that program we were shown that 3 million people are already hungry. We have an unemployment rate that is nearing 19%, almost 20%. Official unemployment rate, because the numbers that the government provides doesn't count with they don't count the people that left the workforce and there is no longer searching for job. And we are still a country with acceptable security services and rescue services. Yes, some of them very good, but they can fall. Well, I am sitting here now, changing a little bit up tone. Well, I'm sitting here near in my bed, near my bedroom table. This is my Coleman. Got it. It's very bright. It has 3 LEDs. It works with 4D batteries, and I also have here an alternative to some other types of flashlights. I have mag lights, I have other type of flashlights, but I found that this is a flashlight that is waterproof and is the brand is Deeply Dive. I think the brand is Dive. It's made in Taiwan. It has a Cree LED, and its burn time is 4+ hours. It works with 3 AA batteries and 1 conductor battery, and it's resistant. It's not pricey, and it has got a lot of lumens, 150 lumen. It's very good. It feels well in the hand, and it's a diving flashlight that is a good product. Not so good as a Phoenix or a Surefire or a Innova or even a Maglite, I compared this one with a 2D cell LED mag light, and mag light is a little bit brighter, and the lumens that the ANSI lumens that the mag light advertises, which are more precise, are 130 something. So this is not as they advertise 150, but it's a good and sturdy flashlight, and it's a good option, and it comes with a lanyard. So it was a good buy, and a good buy. Yes, a good buy, not a goodbye. Goodbye is now my way of ending this video, and having faith and being having the capability of reading things are important. Preppers should not be stupid or gang or weapon lovers, or only weapon lovers, and we have a lot of them.